you today. Got another unboxing video. Got another G.I. Joe classified unboxing video, and this one is Tunnel Rat, our boy Nicky Lee, one of my favorite characters. Uh, I've been excited about this one for a while. This is one that I pre-ordered as soon as it was up for pre-order on Amazon. I snagged this guy. Started paying him off with gift cards that I earn online because that's what I usually do with stuff that I order off of Amazon. It's you know, the next best thing to getting it for free. So like I do all these things where I just answer surveys or play solitaire games or do searches on Bing. Really, the only reason for anybody to do a search on Bing is to earn points for Amazon gift cards, as far as I'm concerned. Or, whatever it is you put those points towards. But for me, it's Amazon gift cards. Here's the packaging. We got a nice picture of Mr. Lee there with his machine gun and his revolver. And he's got some funky night vision goggles. That's a new addition to this character. And a little Easter egg for fans of the G.I. Joe animated movie. It's the bell that he's got to ring. Hey, Sean Franklin, how you doing today? I like when they put the Easter eggs for the fans in there, like things where it's like it doesn't really necessarily look out of place to have a bell there. I guess maybe if you really think about it, what's a bell doing in a train tunnel like that? but yeah, we know. We the fans know why that bell is there. So and then we got the QR code. One of these days, I'm going to have to try the QR code and see what it does. Some nice artwork. I do think that this artwork looks a little more sort of comic book style than the rock and roll and shipwreck artwork that looked a little more sort of painterly, I guess. Tunnel Rat famously. Oh yeah, I've got lots of Wonder Woman toys. I got. If you go back and look through my videos, I think the most recent Wonder Woman toy I did was the Superpowers from McFarlane. I might still have her around here somewhere. Yeah, she's over here in this pile of stuff that I got. So yeah, the McFarlane Superpowers toy, and I've got the other McFarlane figure that I opened up of hers was the one from Shazam 2, the multiverse figure. I opened that one up, and I've got all kinds of Wonder Woman. In fact, right over there on my shelf, if I turn it a little bit, you can see right next to my Batman Blu-rays. I got that big fig of Gal Gadot from the first movie. So yeah, lots of Wonder Woman. But yeah, Tunnel Rat famously is designed. The original figure was based off of Larry Hama, the writer of G.I. Joe. Dude's been writing G.I. Joe since the 80s. He can't stop. He's a machine. He's written it under like 3 different publishers at this point. It was almost 4, but that company that would have been the second one, originally would have been the second one, they wound up not getting the license, unfortunately. I mean, somebody else did get the license, so we still got some G.I. Joe comics, but do you have Henry Cavill, Superman, and Ben Affleck Batman toy? Oh, of course. Yeah, I've got tons of those guys. Tons of those guys. So, in fact, if you go back and you check some of my older videos, I got an unboxing of a McFarlane Zack Snyder's Justice League Superman, and I've even custom made a few myself. And I've got lots of the Mattel figures that they made. So yeah. So you got the artwork there. Got some artwork on the back with photographs of the figures and the accessories and a layout of the accessories, and got a close up of the patch on his shoulder, which I wish they have had that on the Snake Eyes desert figure, because I would have liked to have gotten a closer look at that patch. But it's a nice little patch. It's a little rat with a flashlight. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and open them up. And then we got the little cardboard tray. Oops, the foot locker fell out. But there is Nicky Lee, and he looks kind of perplexed, a little confused, probably wondering what he's doing in a giant cardboard box. By his perspective, it's gigantic anyway. And then we got the foot locker with the annoying little baggie with the accessories in it. Looking forward to going back to packaging with a window in it whenever they get around to that. But let's see if we can get all the accessories out of this bag and not accidentally lose any within the bag. Alright, so he wouldn't be Tunnel Rat if he didn't come with a gigantic backpack. So there's that. And he also wouldn't be Tunnel Rat if he didn't come with a gigantic machine gun. So there's that. Unfortunately, it did get a little warped while it was in this paper envelope, because they didn't bother to put any cardboard around it to protect it, much like with the Snake Eyes sword in the last G.I. Joe classified video that I did. So, shame on you for that, Hasbro. We got a revolver that seems relatively unharmed. So that'll go in his shoulder holster. I'm glad they went with a revolver rather than an automatic. I think that fits the character better. Some characters just work better with a revolver than an automatic, in my humble opinion. Then we got those night vision goggles. Pretty cool. And we got a knife. Nice knife. Pretty big for such a little guy. And then we got a flashlight, because he wouldn't be Tunnel Rat without a flashlight. And we got another flashlight, because he wouldn't be Tunnel Rat without another flashlight. And then we got the ammo box for the machine gun with the bullets. And I believe that should be everything. Oh, and the pouch. I don't know if I showed off the pouch. I'd had it in my hand. So yeah, that's all the doodads that come with Tunnel Rat. Nice assortment of accessories. All the accessories that Tunnel Rat should come with. So yeah. And it does fulfill my my bare minimum rule of what a G.I. Joe accessory should be, as he comes with as far as the weapons go. I mean, you want to have like a backpack and stuff. But as far as the weapons go, you want him to have a knife, you want him to have a rifle, and you want him to have a sidearm. So all those things are included, and that makes me happy. Now, if it's like, say like Storm Shadow doesn't really need to come with a rifle or a gun. But, you know, you have other ninja accessories in there that you, oh. Why does he have plastic tabs? You supposedly want to help the environment by cutting down on the plastic in the packaging, and you're still using these plastic tabs. This is exactly why I don't really approve of the plastic-free packaging, because I know you're not really doing it because you care about the environment. You're doing it because it's cheap. That's why you want to save money. If they came out and they said, hey, look, we're trying to save money on these action figures, inflation's going crazy, we're trying to keep the costs down so we don't have to jack up the price too much on them, then I would respect it, because now you're being at least somewhat honest. Granted, the real reason you want to save money is because you want to put it back in your own pockets. But it would certainly be more honest than being like, oh well, it's because we care about the environment so much. We care about the environment. You don't care. You're a big heartless corporation. You do not care about the environment. I don't believe that for a second. Call me cynical if you like. Alright, so I've cut through the damnable plastic tabs. And we now have Mr. Lee off of his card. And there he is. Try to get that to focus a little better on his head sculpt so you can see the head sculpt. He doesn't necessarily look like Larry Hama in this iteration. He looks, actually to me, he looks a little more like Owen Wilson. But that's okay. That's okay. So he's got, I think he's gonna have, most of this should be brand new sculpt. I don't think any of this is reused from anything. It's possible, and I think that I have Shipwreck around here somewhere. See if I can find him. I was thinking it might be possible that maybe they reused the torso from Shipwreck, because it would be similar enough. I think they could reuse the torso from Shipwreck and nobody would complain. Maybe he was in this box. So I know I had him recently, because it wasn't too long ago that I did that unboxing of Shipwreck, right? So he's definitely around here somewhere. Thought maybe I put him in this box, but I don't see him in the box. It's possible he's somewhere on my table, which I really need to declutter. There's a lot of clutter on this coffee table. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not seeing him on the coffee table. Maybe he's on this big table. Yeah, here he is. I found him. All right. So let's compare. He does not use the same torso as Shipwreck. I think they probably could have gotten away with using the same torso as Shipwreck, but you can tell right away Shipwreck has pockets and Tunnel Rat does not. So instantly I could tell. Even the forearms look like they're different. Shipwreck has slightly bulgier forearms. Like Popeye, you know. You would think they could give Shipwreck the bell bottoms, or give Tunnel Rat the bell bottoms that Shipwreck has, but nope. And there's a good reason for that. Look how much shorter that Tunnel Rat is with Shipwreck. Tunnel Rat is traditionally supposed to be a shorter character as far as G.I. Joes go. And it looks to me as if they actually did make an entire bespoke body just for Tunnel Rat so they could give him a shorter stature, which is really unusual as far as the G.I. Joe classified figures go. Usually there's at least somewhat of a reuse of parts, but it looks like our boy Nicky Lee, he did not have to have any reused parts, and all of his parts seem to be original, at least as far as I can tell. You know, maybe the elbows or the neck or something is reused, but it seems to me like, yeah, he's a new figure, a brand new figure. So that's pretty cool. Kind of want to, get a second one and use him as the base for a Cobra Commander figure, because I see him as being short. Like he's got a Napoleon complex. It looks like one of the pouches is slipped down. I think it's supposed to be more sort of up higher on the thigh there. So he's got these pouches around his legs, and this one doesn't have anything, like as far as storage goes. It's just decorative, just something that we can have pouches on him. And his bandolier, his gun belt, ammo belt, that's the word I'm looking for. It seems to keep wanting to slide down. This one does have a knife sheath on it. And he does not have the bell bottoms like I was trying to point out, that we traditionally think of Tunnel Rat as having. His pants kind of blouse a little bit at the bottom. They don't look like they tuck into his boots unless he's got like really short boots, but it's looks like maybe they tie up or something. So and then he's got as far as the paint detailing goes, he's got that insignia patch I was talking about. He's got lots of black camouflage all over his face and arms. And it's a bit neater than the stuff that was on the Tunnel Rat figure that I remember when I was a kid, because that looked like they just kind of like went and airbrushed everything on or something. And this one looks like almost kind of painterly in how it's designed, like tiger stripes. They'll almost certainly do a Tiger Force Tunnel Rat at some point, because they love doing those Tiger Force figures, don't they? So let's go ahead and go over some of these accessories. First, he has the knife. Now, any real military guy will tell you that a Tunnel Rat basically the weapons they get is they get a pistol and a flashlight, and they get sent into that tunnel. So a lot of times people will have that as a criticism of Tunnel Rat, is that, oh, well, he shouldn't have all those accessories because he's a tunnel rat. He just needs a pistol and a flashlight, and it's like, yeah, but it's also a GI Joe action figure. You want him to come with some stuff. You can take the ammo belt off very easily, and in fact, I bet you get this. I'm not gonna do it, but I bet you could get the shoulder holster off very easily if you just remove the head and the scarf, and then it'd be even easier. But yeah, so you can take that off, and he can have all of his backpack and leave his machine gun behind, and then just go into the tunnel with the flashlight and the pistol. So I don't see what the big deal is. It's like, you don't have to have him with that stuff. He just comes with it. So you can take it off anytime you want and have your more realistic version of a tunnel rat. But in my mind, Mr. Lee kind of functions as like a squad machine gunner whenever he's not doing his tunnel rat thing. He's a GI Joe. He's good at doing more than one thing. So, but yeah, that's how the knife goes in his hand. It looks pretty good. I'm getting ahead of myself. I put the revolver into the holster, which it does fit rather snugly, by the way. And I want to actually have it in his hand for a little bit. So why don't we go ahead and, since I was talking about having the ammo belt off of him anyway, we'll go ahead and take that off again. So we just got him with the revolver, and we'll put one of these flashlights in his hands. And his hands are rather rigid, as G.I. Joe classified hands tend to be. So we have to kind of pry him open and fit it in there. And there is our tunnel rat in full tunnel rat mode with just his pistol and just his flashlight. So, any of you purists out there who that's how you want your tunnel rat, there you go. You can have him just like that on your shelf, and it's no problem. All right. But for those of us who are fans of the original figure and want to see him entirely kitted out, why don't we get on that right away? So I'm going to put the revolver back into its holster. It does have a little hole at the bottom so the end of his barrel can stick out of it, which I always like that. I think it helps the guns fit better into the holsters. We got the knife in its sheath. Let's go ahead and put the ammo belt back on him. There we go. But it is nice that they made the ammo belt a separate piece from the holster, so you can take it off really easily. That's good. I definitely approve of that. Let's go ahead and put the big old hog in his hand. And again, I gotta kind of pry his fingers open since it's that kind of rigid plastic. But I got it in there, no problem. And it is, like I said, it is a little warped from being in that paper envelope. But I'm sure I can soften it back up with a little bit of heat from the hairdryer, or you could always dip it in some warm water, and it should return to its proper shape. So nothing really for him to grip on the front end like a handle or anything like that. And I don't really want to stretch his hand out too much, so I'll just kind of try to place it on the end of his hand like that. And he looks really cool with the machine gun, and it's got the big old scope on it. Not quite as cartoonishly large as the scope on the original Tunnel Rat figure was, but it's big enough. You know what? Before I put the gun on, I should have put the satchel on. Let's have a look at the satchel first. So this is kind of reddish brown burgundy color. Unfortunately, for those of you who really care about this sort of thing, it does not say TNT on it like the original figure did. But I guess they figure we're smart enough, we can just imagine explosives are in there now without having to be told. I don't know. So, and it is a rather soft plastic, unlike the original one where that satchel was like just rigid as hell, and it's really hard to find a tunnel rat secondhand these days where his strap on his satchel doesn't have all kinds of stretch marks on it from the kids putting it over his shoulder. So he does look really cool with the machine gun. He looks really cool with the satchel. I can't complain about Tunnel Rat having all these accessories that like a real Tunnel Rat wouldn't have, because yeah, he's not a real Tunnel Rat. He's a toy that kids are supposed to play with. He's a little toy soldier, and kids want their toy soldiers to have lots of cool accessories. So there we go. And speaking of cool accessories, much like with the original Tunnel Rat, we can fit the flashlights into the top of his backpack, like so. So now when he's dark, he can have those flashlights being hands-free and shining the light wherever he needs to. And hopefully the backpack fits in his back just fine, and it does. And you know what else I forgot about the machine gun? I forgot to put the ammo box into it. So why don't we go ahead and do that? And it looks like there's a little hole for the peg on the ammo box to fit into underneath the gun. And hopefully it'll fit better than my second roadblock did with his ammo box. The first roadblock, the one that thankfully I wound up doing that one on the unboxing. Thankfully that was the first roadblock that I did. That one the ammo box fit in just fine. But the second one, it was giving me a hard time for whatever reason. So it's going to go in. There we go. We got it in. So there's what the machine gun looks like with the ammo box, since I forgot to do that earlier. Been really forgetful on this episode, haven't I? So he can hold the flashlights in his hand, and he can also stick them in his backpack, so he can have those to light the way in front of him while he walks through. And also, this machine gun does have a fold-down bipod, just like the roadblock one did. And it seems like, unlike the vintage bipods that I remember from my youth, they stay in there pretty solid. Of course, the Tunnel Rat figure had the bipod was sculpted onto the machine gun in this folded up position, as you see it now. So didn't lose that one because it was part of the figure. And then last but not least, we have the brand new accessory for Tunnel Rat. This is something I've never seen on a Tunnel Rat figure before. As far as I know, he's never had night vision goggles. But I think it's really cool, and it fits the character pretty well because, you know, he's a guy who goes into the tunnels. Maybe it'd be better to have night vision goggles than a flashlight. But, you know, night vision goggles don't create light. They only amplify the light that's there. So he'd probably still want to have the flashlights. But he could have the flashlights on, like, a low setting with, like, some kind of filter over the lens so it doesn't create a whole lot of light, but enough for his night vision goggles to kind of amplify it. So as we saw on the package, they had the night vision goggles over his eyes, and we're going to do that in a minute too, but I wanted to see how it would work with him just kind of having them up on his forehead like that. And I think it works pretty well. It does make the straps kind of stick up a little bit, which I don't think is particularly realistic. But, you know, whatever. We're just going to have to make do with it as we do. And then there's what he looks like with the night vision goggles down over his head. Oh, I want to talk about this bandana a little bit. Lots of good detailing there. You got the tie in the back. So Tunnel Rat was one of my favorite figures when he came out. I just thought he was really cool. He had a lot of great accessories. He had a look that I felt like it was a realistic military look, but at this like he looked like what a soldier could look like. But at the same time, it was unique enough that I felt like he stood out as far as the G.I. Joes in the collection. And I really liked pairing him up with Lieutenant Falcon because they were two guys who came out around the same time, and I felt like they worked really well together. They both complemented each other very well. Falcon being like a truly realistic military figure, and this guy being, you know, like, he's got a military feel, but it's not necessarily like a real uniform, if you know what I mean. He's got like gray pants and olive shirt. It's one of those where it's like it works in the context of being G.I. Joe, where they're like special forces and they don't exactly adhere to the typical military dress code because of that. So so it works. And looking at this guy, it's just like it's like that original Tunnel Rat figure and everything that I liked about it. It just kind of like cranked up to 11. Lots of good detailing to it. Lots of good articulation. Uh, the fact that they went all in and gave Tunnel Rat like an entirely new body, at least as far as I can tell, it's an entirely new body. That deserves some props. You gotta love that. So and the night vision goggles, that's a great modernized touch to this character, and it definitely fits in with the with the more modern way they're trying to present these figures. But I feel like it's appropriate. It's definitely something that, like, if it had have existed back in 1987, and like I think Starlight technology did exist in like a, not as advanced as it is now, obviously, but like Low Light had like a Starlight scope on his rifle, but I don't know if they really had goggles like this back then. But since they're pretty common among our armed forces these days, it only makes sense that Tunnel Rat would have something like that. So yeah, Tunnel Rat is absolutely a recommend. This is like probably for a lot of people it wouldn't be a core character, because a lot of people, I think, their core characters kind of stop around like 85 or 86. But to me, I definitely have core characters that continue on like at least into the 90s. Like, and there's a lot of really modern characters that I really like that have been introduced into the GI Joe mythos over the past few years, the past decade or so. So yeah, look forward to seeing like some customs of those characters from me. But yeah, Tunnel Rat definitely gets a recommend. You should definitely pick this guy up. Absolutely. You don't want to not have Tunnel Rat in your collection. He's a great character, and he's a great figure. So that's pretty much for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And all fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Tunnel Rat. Not just this figure, but the character in general. What's your personal favorite Tunnel Rat figure? What's your personal favorite interpretation of Tunnel Rat in outside media? I did really enjoy Tunnel Rat, and he was a major character on the G.I. Joe Renegades animated series, which is probably my favorite animated version of G.I. Joe. I know a lot of you guys will be like, what, not the Sunbow series? Come on. But I kind of feel like the Renegades took a little bit more from the comics. And, I really liked that. So anyway, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.